Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Stocks Factory. Um, we had a problem with the audio, and I got a few complaints from several people. Hopefully, that issue will be fixed this time around. I have some headphones to be able to listen into what I'm saying, be able to regulate the audio. With each episodes, we're gonna be improving. That's the goal of this. I'm doing this for you guys. And today we're going to be talking about the debt ceiling crisis. So all eyes are on the debt ceiling. Um, Basically, the whole market it's on a hold. Either whether we're going to rally, we're going to crash. Where are we going? All eyes are on the debt ceiling. Um, so what's happening right now? We're in a standoff. So what is the debt ceiling? Let's start with what is the debt ceiling. So the debt ceiling is basically the debt that the US has, and the cap that we have with how much money we can print. The problem that we're currently having is that we keep raising this this limit, and each time we're just raising it exponentially, and we're running out to this limit quicker each time without a plan to repay it or stop increasing it. So basically we have a ceiling, right? And there's a floor. So yes, the ceiling keeps getting raised, but are we lowering the floor? The floor, what is the floor? The floor is our spending. Um, how much are we spending? Do we have a plan to cut on spending? Why are we spending more than our debt? So let's compare it kind of to like if we have a credit card. Our credit limit is, I don't know, let's say at X number, $10,000, and we're spending um, $9,999, and we have to go and request a credit limit increase every single time because we're running out of that um, limit or availability. But we don't have a plan to actually pay that credit card off. What the only thing we're doing is paying the minimum payment, which is only covering the interest rate. Um, and as we get, okay, we're getting approved for that credit limit increase. Great. Next time we get, from $10,000, we might get $14,000, and we go ahead and we cap it off again. And now we're at $13,999 in debt. And um, all we're doing is making minimum payments. And what do minimum payments do? They pay the interest rate. And it's really not going towards the principal. Our spending habits are still the same. What are we doing to fix the problem? We cannot continue to survive off of only requesting credit limit increases because that's that's not sustainable. Um, so do we have to increase the debt ceiling? Well, at this point, we really have no option. The only other alternative is to default, which is basically like if you have your credit card and you say, okay, well, you know what, I'm not, going to pay this month. Well, what happens? Your credit score goes bad. You It gets impacted negatively. Um, your interest rates are going to go higher. You're going to get late payment fees. In this case, there's some sort of an insurance that gets paid that goes higher. So that means that the minimum payment will go higher. So it will be more difficult to actually service it or to be able to repay it. So we have a few parties involved. Well, we know the main parties would be Democrat, Republican, and then we have Yellen, which is the Treasury. Um, we also have So we have these main parties, but from these main parties, we have specific people that are negotiating. So it'd be like Biden, and his party is negotiating with Kevin McCarthy, which is from the Republican Party, the House Speaker. And they're kind of negotiating, and the Republican Party is requesting a plan to lower the spending because it's not sustainable, and that's understandable, and I agree with him in that sense. And I'm trying to come at this with a neutral point of view. I'm not trying to pick sides, but I want it to make sense. um so yes, we do have to reduce our spending. It's definitely not sustainable. Now we want to see, the Democrat side. We want to see Biden's side. um do we have to raise the debt ceiling? We absolutely do. We definitely don't want a default. What impacts would a default in the U.S. have? We will. It's going to have major impacts. Major impacts in the stock market. Major impacts worldwide. Economically speaking, it will give China. Um, we have the de-dollarization going on, so it'll give them that opportunity to fill that void. It'll make us lose credibility in front of the world, as that world dominance of the dollar, that greenback. And um we don't want to lose that. We want to be that um we want to have that upper hand as far as being able to negotiate when it comes to um negotiating, whatever it is, whether it's oil. Even though we have OPEC, and they somewhat have the upper hand, we still negotiate on dollar, even though right now we have that de-dollarization movement going, where they're trying to negotiate on their own currency, and go into the yuan, which is the Chinese currency. And so it's a very critical moment, and I think that it's very delicate that they're having this standoff, to kind of force the upper hand, um to bring that service amount of money, or bring that budget spending down, and force some sort of cuts, um to be able to afford some way, somehow. Okay, we're going to go ahead and raise the ceiling, but to make it sustainable, what are you going to do, or where are you going to cut, so that we don't have to raise it again, and we don't have to revisit this again, down the road, 6 months, a year from now. We are under what is called from the Treasury Department extraordinary means, or extraordinary resources, where they already started cutting down. Technically, they ran out of money or resources already. And uh, out of all their extraordinary means that they've been going, and measures, or extraordinary measures, they already ran out of that, or they're going to run out of that, all those measures, by June 1st. So, and that has a specific name that's called X date. And all these big banks, and companies like JP Morgan, they're actually setting up rooms called war rooms, and they're meeting up at least 3 times a day. They're meeting with the president. They're meeting with Jay Powell. They're meeting with McCarthy. They're doing a lot of meetings behind the scenes, trying to play a worst case scenario of, if this does not go through, if the debt ceiling does not get raised, and we were to default, the United States of America was to default, what will happen, and what plans can we put in place to kind of try to soften the blow, because it's going to be a big blow. It is um they say that Oh, so we've never defaulted in this type of way before. So we don't know what exactly is going to happen or what will happen. Um, Again, I'm not saying it's going to happen. We have to remain optimistic. Um, Today, McCarthy walked out and they paused the meeting. Again, they started meeting up this afternoon. They haven't given an update as of yet. But it's as of what he's saying. Again, it's what he's saying publicly. He might be using it as a bargaining tool or something, or trying to taunt Biden or the Democrats or the White House. And he's saying that they're just not being reasonable. um Again, it's not something to play with when it comes to the debt ceiling. I think it's something that everybody has to sit down, come together, and think what's best for the country. Um, does McCarthy have a good point of view? Yes, he does. We already spoke about that. He does have a good point of view. We need to cut on spending. We need to have a plan. We've never had a plan, a real plan, a realistic plan to bring that debt ceiling down. It's just always bring it up, bring it higher. What do we do? Let's raise the debt ceiling. It's always been about that. We need to get rid of that ceiling. We need to start bringing it down. We need to see how we cut spending some way somehow. Um, so basically, the main problem is that the U.S. is running, um, 2+ trillion deficits per year, and so they must take one more new debt to finance the deficits. So that's kind of like the breakdown of it, and that's where the debt ceiling really takes a bite, right? Um, let me go ahead and throw something else up so we see a graph a little bit better. That'll give us kind of like an idea. So this is kind of we'll see how it starts raising it. And here we can see, when we started in 1970, 1980, 1990, and then the debt ceiling starts rising and rising. Do we ever really see it come under control some way, somehow, where I mean, all I see is that not only do they raise it, but they raise it exponentially. Um, it's crazy. I mean, we can see right here, um, they put in a crazy, that last bar, it just has a power bank to it. We're at 31.4 trillion. Um, it's insane. What's next? And how long is it going to last before we need another one? It becomes almost like, and it's funny because it's a money printer. All we do is print money. That's what the debt ceiling is. It's like, okay, let's make up this number and that's how much money we're gonna print. Let's go ahead and turn on a printer. Let me go buy a printer, I don't know, an X company and an Epson printer, and let's print money. That is not sustainable. That is unrealistic. We're not playing Monopoly here. This is a real country, and um we want to have credibility in front of the world. So this kind of gives us a clear cut view of what's going on. This is a serious issue. If we don't come, this is the other thing. Let's say they come to an agreement. McCarthy and Biden come into agreement. So Republicans, Democrats come into an agreement. It's got to pass the House. It's got to pass the Senate. That's going to take time. Okay. When is the X date? We already talked about that. June 1st, according to Jelen, with the Treasury, U.S. Treasury. Does not mean that it can't happen before. It may happen before. That's an approximate date. They're with their calculations or whatnot. They're calling it on June 1st. Um, with that being said, the other date that they were saying is that it should have passed by today in order to give it enough time to pass House and Senate. So we are against time. Now they are meeting right now, Friday night, and they are expected to continue their meetings and negotiations going Saturday, Sunday. And Let's hope that they reach a deal this weekend. Now, if they reach a deal, everything goes good. Everything goes through good. We should expect some sort of a rally, some sort of I'm thinking some sort of a good sign from the market, some sort of a relief, some sort of a relief. And that's pretty much for the debt ceiling. But we definitely want to keep all of our eyes on this. This is something serious. We want to keep the stability on the economy. This is not something to play with. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, we all should agree that the debt ceilings. We forget about the debt ceiling. We have to repay our debt. If we owe somebody money, we owe our credit cards. We should pay our debt. As a country, the way the world views us, we definitely want to look strong. We want to look responsible. We are the leaders of the free world. We're the leaders of we move the economy. And we have to remain that way. We have to remain in that position of leadership. And we have to lead by example. Regardless of what party you're from, regardless of your beliefs and your religious beliefs, regardless of your background, we all got to come together from whatever other background you have or religious beliefs, and we're all one nation, with one goal. Um, and 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 let's just focus on this. And whoever's investing, just stay informed. This is definitely the focus of everybody right now that is investing. We had a drop in the market today. The drop in the market on the news side is definitely because they could not come into an agreement. McCarthy said a lot of negative signs, a lot of negative comments, remarks about Biden and his party not being reasonable enough to come into an agreement, and he had to walk out of the meeting and they paused negotiations. So market dropped. That is just speaking about what's going on with this situation and how it's affecting the market. That's nothing to do with the technical side or technical analysis. That's on another topic. And again, thanks for tuning in. I hope that this audio issue has been fixed. Let me know what you think about, again, suggestions. Shoot me a message. Um, for those of you that personally know me, shoot me a text. Let me know. Suggestion about topics, anything that you guys want to know. Any way that I can better the channel. I do this for you guys. I'm here for you guys. I want to keep you guys informed as much as possible. It's not just about the stocks. It's also about keeping you guys updated with what's going on around us in the economic world, and the news, and whatever's happening that may affect the news, and it may affect the market one way or another. Again, thanks for tuning in. This is Harold, your host for today. Y'all take it easy. Have a good weekend. Take care.